sure is chilly outside this morning. Oh, good morning YouTube, and welcome back to another episode here at Wild Man Lifts. I'm your host, Wild Man. So on today's episode, I went to a commercial gym and I did some bench pressing. Now, every once in a while, I like to switch up the bench press and switch it out with an implement that might be a little bit different to use, but as a purpose for everything. So let's jump in and let's see what we did today. So on today's menu is bench press with the axle bar. This bar is thicker in diameter, has no knurling, the ends do not rotate, and is a lot sturdier than a normal barbell, has zero give. And in between my sets, I'm going to be doing some ox drags with my indoor sled and then some backwards drags to make sure I get my strongman movements in as I do my bench press. And that's going to be the strength giant set for the day. Now I'm using the axle bar for two reasons. The first is I'm just trying to change the normal bench press movement with a barbell slightly. So the axle bar covers that. The second reason I'm using the axle bar is because due to its thick diameter and its zero give, because it's such a stiff bar, it actually makes my chest work a lot harder. And I wanted to isolate my chest a little bit more today. And there's nothing better than the axle bar that will light up my chest like a Christmas tree when I'm working out with it. Now, I was actually doing two things at once today. I was trying to get my workout in, and I was also training a client. And this is one of my very good friends. And he was today trying to hit one more rep than last week, which is what he did. So congratulations to him. And he's on one of my strength programs, and he will be continuing to do that as well throughout the whole video. So today's strength format was going to be my no-brainer program, which I posted last time, which just is I work up to one heavy rep max. So it's between 90 to 95%. And from there, I take a percentage of that and I do some volume. So I actually pulled my pec maybe like 6 months ago doing this movement. So I was a little apprehensive to go as heavy as I normally do. So in this case, my no-brainer program is perfect because I'm basically just going up one rep at a time and just feeling it out. And when it starts to move slow, that's when I know I need to work and start my volume giant set. So today I was thinking I would try 320, and even if it went up quickly, I didn't care. I was going to stop there. And then maybe the next time I lift, I could try a heavier weight. But not too long ago on my no-brainer with a barbell, I did 315. So 320 on the axle bar is really good. As you can see, it went up pretty quick. And I knew that that was a good place to stop there and to start my volume giant set, which is what I did right after the sled pulls. Now, when I'm training with the axle bar, I don't really use it a lot. So in this case, I like to do my volume portion right after I'm done with my strength portion and the variation giant set. So let's jump in, let's see what we did. Now for the volume giant set, I was gonna do 3 rounds, and I wanted to push the volume weight a little bit more than I typically do. So the last time I pulled my pec, this was the weight that I was doing the volume sets on. And I wanted to make sure that I hit it again. So I was gonna be doing 5 reps with 280 pounds, and I was gonna continue to do my ox drags with the indoor sled and the backwards sled drag, which was gonna remain, if I didn't say before, 135 pounds is the total weight that I had loaded up on that sled. Now, from this second set, I thought the first set was very easy. The second set got very hard very quickly. I don't know what happened. It was like I hit a wall. But regardless, the movement pattern and my chest and my triceps all felt pretty good. So I wasn't feeling like the same fatigue I felt last time when I pulled my pec. So I knew that I was going to be able to push it. But still, whenever you slightly pull a pec or have an injury, it's always in your brain that that could happen again. So on this set, when I was working, I kind of started to get that phantom pain in my chest. I knew that it wasn't real, right? I knew that it was my body just getting tired and just trying to get me to stop, and it would give me phantom pain. So I did the 4th one here, and it went kind of slow, and I probably could have re-braced and hit another rep again, but I decided not to because it's just easier to lift another day and not pull my pec. For the assistance portion, sometimes if I'm using chains and the implement makes it very wobbly, I will do push-ups either on handles or from the floor where it's more stable and I can target the chest a little bit better. But in this case, because I was using the axle bar, and it's a very stiff bar and has very little give and was actually pretty stable throughout the whole thing, I decided to switch it up and do something a little bit different. Let's jump into the assistance portion. One of my favorite movements to do are ring push-ups. The reason being is you have to really stabilize your chest and your triceps on every rep because you can see those things move and they wobble around, which is perfect. That's what I want. I usually like to do these when I've done a stable barbell lift and not without chains where it's already pretty wobbly. And I'm also going to be doing some ring rows in between there. And now I've loaded the sled up with 360 pounds. Now this normally isn't heavy on a normal sled, but because the ground in there is just different and it's a carpet kind of sled, it was pretty difficult to pull that thing. But what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to get a really good pump in my chest. I'm trying to get a really good pump in my back. And then I'm trying to immediately take up the sled and do those ox drags like this. So that way I'm getting a really good workout and conditioning pump in between these sets. So that's kind of the purpose of these. If your gym doesn't have ring push-ups, I'm sure that you could do them like on kettlebell handles, like 2 of them. Those will wobble just as much. And you could do rows like these as well, just more horizontally. And you can find these carpet sleds on Amazon, and they're not that expensive. So go ahead and give that a shot if you are interested in movements like these. So there you have it. That was the training for the day. Really appreciate you coming along for the ride. I'll check you next time.